Today, we're going to try and answer the question, is the day before worth the hype? Before we go further, I just want to point out that it is rumored that the game may change its name to Dayworld due to copyright concerns, which in my opinion is a way worse name. A little backstory to the day before, it's set to be an open world MMO game with zombies, so think DayZ but more modernized. This is the devs' most ambitious game yet. They previously developed Prop Night and The Wild 8, both of which achieved mediocre success but were nothing compared to the size and scope that this game is supposed to be. That's my first cause of concern for this game. Both of those games were not big in scale or that complex. Prop Night is kind of like Dead by Daylight, so it's a small 1v4 game, and The Wild 8 is a 2D survival game. So that's kind of more along the lines of this, but it was not an MMO, and it did not have the graphic fidelity that the day before is supposed to have. A few features that I want to point out that the game's going to have. There's a safe zone feature where the players can interact, form alliances, engage in trade, and undertake quests aimed at societal restoration. It is also said that there will be forms of employment, such as manual labor as a loader or being a musician. Now, personally, this seems way too ambitious, and I'm not sure if it's going to be a gimmick. The main question is whether these are scripted jobs or more player-driven. I can't really see a job like musician being a scripted job in a world that's an MMO. It seems like they are trying to add some roleplay elements, which, if implemented right, could be amazing. I'm just skeptical since no game in this genre has been able to achieve this yet. Another feature that I want to point out is they're going to have base building or player housing. In an interview, a dev said a key feature of our game will be the ability to purchase their own in-game houses. These properties can be completely personalized, furnished, and serve as a gathering point for friends. This is almost certainly going to be instanced housing, meaning you go to a certain area, most likely in the safe zone, and you walk up to a door and go into an instance that only you could see and possibly your friends if you invite them in. I don't think that it's going to be like housing in the open world where you see a house and you could make it your own and like nobody else could enter, since the dev themselves said that it's going to be immune from player attacks. So I can't really see it that you're going to be able to claim an abandoned house within the game world and then no other players on the server are going to be able to enter or go near it. But even if it's an instance housing, it could be cool, but it looks like another roleplay element with it having no effect over gameplay. So if it's implemented right, it could be great, but then again, I'm skeptical. So those were the two main features that I thought were cool, but kind of have to be implemented in the right way for it to actually work within the game, in my opinion. So I just want to leave you guys with my general thoughts. So as you could probably tell already, the game looks really good visually. It reminds me of The Last of Us with some Division vibes, such as like you're roaming the city streets. It's supposed to be an MMO, but we really don't know if it's going to be one map or a bunch of smaller maps that you queue into, kind of like Tarkov. So my idea of it is it could be just one big map, which would be the ideal case, or it could be something as if the safe zone is just where you see all the other people and it's one instance and you use that instance to queue into smaller maps with your friends, and it's a much smaller scale. So like if you wanted to queue into like the east side of the city, you could queue into that with your friends, and it's you and your friends, and then maybe up to 20 people in the server, which, I mean, it could work, but I think having one big map would be the best case and really feel like an MMO. And that also leads into my next point is we really don't know how many people per server. If it's one big map, I mean, it could still be 20 people or it could be 200 people. And if it's a smaller map, it could be, 6 people to a server, or it could be 20, 30 people. So in my opinion, that's also going to shape how fun the game is. If the game is barren of players or full of players, they kind of have to strike the right balance. The weapon customization, which they showed off, seems pretty cool. It kind of reminds me of Tarkov. You could kind of change every aspect of your gun, which is really cool. Being able to do that, it looks like you could, change the stock or the barrel or the sight pretty easily. But that kind of leads me into my next point is the UI seems a little outdated. The game was supposed to release in June 2022, which I'll talk about a little later. But other than that, it doesn't seem like they updated the UI from then. So I know that's a minor point, but it would have been cool, they still have time, but it would be cool if they could update the UI a little bit. One other thing is, I don't know if you guys have noticed through the gameplay, but it does seem really, really empty. The streets and interiors seem bare. There's not many zombies, but then again, that could change, and that could be there for balancing because there could be a lot of players roaming around, so you don't want to encounter an overloaded amount of zombies and players. That could get frustrating. So that's more of like a wait and see until you start getting into the game and start testing it out. One thing that I also want to point out that I alluded to earlier is the game was delayed 2 times so far. So it was supposed to come out in June 2022, but they delayed it to upgrade the engine to UE5. And then in March 2023, it was supposed to come out again, but it was then again delayed due to copyright concerns with the name and taken off Steam. So the new release date is November 10th, 2023, and the devs had said that they do want to come back on Steam before release. So if you guys are Steam gamers and you want to add it to your wish list, I would keep checking Steam to make sure that it comes out on there. If not, I could see them using their own launcher. But to me, that's not that big of a deal. But Steam does drive a higher player base, so I would like to see them come on Steam before release. The last thing is there's really no gameplay on the game yet. There's little bits and pieces, 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, but they're not really it looks more scripted, and they're not really showcasing a majority of the game. We don't know what the safe zones look like. We don't know what the quests are. We don't know how the player housing is. So there's a lot of questions left to be desired. And there's also no beta test. So no players, to my knowledge, have really been in playing the game unless it's under NDA. But the devs have said that they are going to schedule a beta test before launch. So with launch happening in a month from this video, we have yet to see any mention of a beta, but they should be having one from then. And I'm sure once players get in, we could make a better decision of how this game is really going to be and get a better general consensus on it. But I just wanted to leave you guys with that. You guys could make your own decision. Leave it down in the comments whether you guys are hyped for this game or not. Personally, I'm kind of in the middle. I'm kind of hyped in the sense of if they implement everything and do everything right, it could be a really good game and possibly the game of the year. But I'm leaving my reservations given on the devs' previous games and this really being a highly ambitious game for them. So let me know if you guys agree or disagree in the comments, and don't forget to leave a like and also subscribe for more of these videos in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace.